Story 1. The Shadow on the Second Floor. I work as a security officer for an office building downtown. It's not a glamorous job, but it pays the bills, and the night shifts are usually quiet enough for me to catch up on television shows or scroll through my phone. My main responsibility is monitoring the building's CCTV cameras, especially the ones in the parking garage. Most nights, it's just empty cars and the occasional late-night worker heading home. The parking garage has 3 levels, and the second floor has always given me an odd feeling. It's dimly lit, with flickering fluorescent lights that seem to buzz louder than they should. The concrete walls are stained with dark streaks, and the air is perpetually damp, like the place is leaking from somewhere. I've heard rumors from other security guards about strange things happening on the second floor, but I always dismissed them as stories designed to spook the new guy. That night started like any other. I was sitting in the security office, sipping lukewarm coffee and watching the screens. At around 11:30 p.m., I noticed movement on the monitor showing the second floor. A woman had just stepped out of the elevator. She was one of the late-night workers, probably finishing up some last-minute paperwork. Her car was parked near the far corner, close to the stairwell. I kept my eyes on the screen. It wasn't out of the ordinary to see someone walking to their car at this hour, but something about the way she moved caught my attention. She seemed hesitant, her steps slow and deliberate, as if she were listening for something. Suddenly, she stopped. Her head tilted slightly, and she glanced over her shoulder. The second floor was silent, at least. That's what the camera's microphone suggested. But her body language told a different story. She looked nervous, her eyes darting around the empty space as if she felt someone watching her. I leaned closer to the monitor, my pulse quickening. I switched to another camera angle that showed the stairwell near her car. That's when I saw him. A man was standing in the shadows near the stairwell door. He was tall and thin, with a shaved head and a pale, almost sickly complexion. His face was turned toward the woman, but he wasn't moving. He was just standing there, perfectly still, like a mannequin forgotten in some dim corner of the parking garage. I grabbed the radio, ready to alert the building's security team, but before I could say anything, the man stepped back into the shadows and disappeared. The woman must not have seen him because she continued walking to her car, her pace quickening. I kept switching between camera angles, trying to locate the man again, but he was gone. The stairwell door was slightly ajar, swinging gently as if someone had just passed through it. The woman reached her car and unlocked it, her movements frantic. She climbed inside and locked the doors. Her headlights flicked on, illuminating the stairwell door. And then he was there again. He stepped out of the shadows and into the light, his face turned directly toward the camera. I froze as I stared at his features. His eyes were black holes, empty and soulless, and his mouth was stretched into a grotesque grin that seemed too wide for his face. He didn't move. He just stood there, staring at the camera, his smile frozen in place. The woman's car reversed out of the parking spot, her tires squealing against the concrete. She sped toward the exit, and I switched to the camera near the ramp to make sure she got out safely. As her car disappeared from view, I saw the man again standing in the middle of the second floor, watching her leave. This time, he raised a hand and waved. The feed from the second floor camera suddenly cut to static. The next morning, I went down to the parking garage to check the camera. The lens had been shattered, as if someone had smashed it with their bare hands. And near the stairwell door, I found a dark stain on the concrete. It smelled metallic, like blood. I haven't worked a night shift since. Story 2. The Red Sedan. I've been a freelance video editor for years, taking on odd jobs ranging from wedding montages to corporate training videos. A few weeks ago, I received an email from a client I didn't recognize. They attached a file titled Red Sedan Footage and asked me to restore it. The email was curt, offering double my usual rate if I could clean up the quality and return the file within 24 hours. Curious, I downloaded the file and opened it. It was a surveillance video from a parking garage, timestamped at 1:17 a.m. The footage was grainy, with frequent static interference, but I could make out the basic layout: rows of parked cars, dim lighting, and a red sedan in the center of the frame. At first, nothing happened. The video showed an empty parking lot, eerily quiet. I fast-forwarded, expecting to find the usual mundane activity: someone walking to their car or a valet parking a vehicle. But then, at around the 2-minute mark, the red sedan's driver's side door opened. No one stepped out. The door remained ajar, as if waiting for someone or something to enter. I paused the video and zoomed in, but the grainy quality made it impossible to see inside the car. I resumed playback, my unease growing with every passing second. Static flickered across the screen, and for a moment, I thought the footage was corrupted. But when the interference cleared, a figure appeared in the corner of the frame. It was a man, moving toward the red sedan with slow, deliberate steps. His movements were unnatural, his limbs stiff like a puppet on strings. As he reached the car, he stopped and turned to face the camera. I leaned closer to my monitor, my stomach tightening. His face was distorted, the features stretched and twisted like a reflection in a funhouse mirror. His eyes were black voids, and his mouth was unnervingly wide, frozen in a grin that sent shivers down my spine. He bent down and climbed into the red sedan. The static returned, louder this time, accompanied by a high-pitched whine that made me wince. I tried to scrub through the footage, but the file wouldn't respond. When the video finally resumed, the red sedan was gone. In its place was a puddle of dark liquid that spread across the concrete floor. I closed the file and stared at my screen, my hands trembling. I emailed the client, asking where the footage was taken and why they wanted it restored. Minutes later, I received a reply. "Don't worry, you'll see for yourself soon enough." That night, as I walked to my car in my apartment's parking lot, I saw a red sedan parked in the corner, its driver's side door slightly open. Story 3. The Silent Passenger. I used to work as a valet at a luxury hotel. It wasn't a bad gig, good tips, flexible hours, but the underground parking garage always gave me the creeps. It was massive, with 5 levels descending into the earth, and the lowest level was almost always deserted. One night, a guest handed me the keys to his black SUV and asked me to park it on the bottom floor. He was polite, but his request struck me as odd. Most people preferred parking closer to the exit, especially late at night. Still, I didn't question it. I drove the SUV down to the 5th level, the engine's hum echoing eerily in the empty space. I parked the car in the far corner, near one of the garage's older security cameras. The camera wasn't in great condition. Its feed was grainy, but I knew it would capture the car's license plate and ensure it was safe overnight. As I stepped out of the SUV, I felt a strange chill run down my spine, as if someone were watching me. Back in the valet booth, I pulled up the camera feed to check the car. At first, everything looked normal. The SUV sat in its spot, surrounded by darkness. But as I fast-forwarded through the footage, I noticed something strange. The car's back door opened slightly, then shut again. I rewound the footage and watched closely. The door opened slowly, almost cautiously, but no one stepped out. I switched to a live feed, my pulse racing. The SUV was still there, but the back door was now wide open. I grabbed a flashlight and headed down to the 5th level, my footsteps echoing against the concrete walls. The air grew colder the further I descended, and the smell of mildew and motor oil became overwhelming. When I reached the car, I stopped dead in my tracks. The back door was closed. I shined my flashlight into the car, but the back seat was empty. Relieved, I turned to leave, but then I heard it, the faint sound of laughter, soft and breathy, coming from behind me. I whipped around, my flashlight trembling in my hand. The SUV's back door was open again, and inside sat a woman. Her head was tilted at an unnatural angle, her long black hair hanging over her face. I couldn't see her features, but I could feel her gaze piercing through me. I ran. When I reached the valet booth, I checked the camera feed again. The SUV was gone. The next morning, I quit my job. But sometimes, late at night. I still hear that laughter echoing in my dreams.